On the 1st of December I got the news I was dreading. All of the tests have confirmed the diagnosis. I have stage 4 pancreatic cancer, so basically this will be my last holiday season. I am okay with what is going to come. I am at peace with that. I have had a life well lived. All of my loved ones will be taken care of. I am naturally a private person, so my WW is unaware of my tests. I did not want to worry her until I had answers, so I head home early to have the talk. This is not something I want to do over the phone or text. Well, as you can guess, since I am here, my life changed more than once that afternoon. When I arrived at the house, I noticed the car of one of my business partners in the drive. There was no mistaking it. Flashy, expensive with a personalized license tag. To say this is out of the ordinary is an understatement. I pull up our home camera system on my phone and notice it is in privacy mode, not recording. So I let it be and drove off to my farm property. Now our camera system is for safety and I never look at it unless there is a concern. With that said, I also love to watch for wildlife on the outside cameras. I also find it oddly satisfying to watch storms come through. So for my own enjoyment, years ago I configured a second video recorder to archive the cameras to local storage. That storage is not accessible via my phone. So when I was at the farm, I opened up my computer and looked at the other server to confirm what my gut was telling me. And sure enough, there they were, snuggling in the living room, drinking wine, dancing, then going up to the bedroom suite. Apparently they left the doors open, because the microphone recorded their activities after they left the camera view. With my limited time left, I wanted answers, but I don't want the drama of a confrontation and divorce. Call me what you will, but all of my devotion and love for her left me that afternoon. I have all of the emotions that are to be expected. I know that I am not to blame. I have been a loyal, romantic, and attuned partner. I am now thinking about myself. I know what is important to me, so I called my lawyer, and we reviewed my will and our prenup. I told him what was going on. We worked on understanding how long and to what extent this affair has been going on. What has been found is disturbing, and I either clearly did not know the woman I shared 2+ decades of life with, or something in her changed. At this time I am not going to say anything to my kids or WW. I am going to put on a stiff upper lip and get through the holidays. Give the kids and grandkids one last holiday memory with me involved. I will be the doting father and grandfather, and then try to play the doting husband role. Some background for some of the obvious questions. AP is a widower and is not remarried. He is a business partner, but not a friend. I do not invest with friends. I never married my twin's mother. It was her choice, and I completely agree with her that at that time she made the correct decision. My kid's mother married a very wonderful man when the kids were 7. Sarah and Steve never had kids of their own. I got my head out of my ass when the kids were 3. I have been very involved with them before that, but that is when I started my road to be the father I wanted to be. Sarah and I co-parented well together, and I would call Steve a friend. Sarah, Steve, and I are in our 60 seconds. Jane is almost 60. AP is in his 50 seconds. Jane and I are both in our first marriage. We were in our 30 seconds when we married. What do I need? An outside outlet and release valve. If I am going to accomplish my goal, I need to vent my anger and talk through my situation. What better outlet than internet strangers? I am at peace with how and when my life will conclude. Christmas is a week-long affair every year. Let me know what you're thinking right now in the comments section. We spend Christmas through New Year on the farm. We cut down a tree after everyone arrives. We decorate, cook, play, and celebrate as a family. Sarah and Steve have been a part of this tradition since I bought the farm. I remain steadfast in not telling anyone until after the new year. If I told Sarah, she would not be able to keep it in. I don't want to place Steve in a position to lie to his wife. I want the kids and grandkids to enjoy the week. We will have plenty of time to cry and prepare in a few weeks. Jane's presence this week will just be a small detail in the long run. Really, I don't care about her anywhere near the rest of the family. The finances are very interesting. Jane and I met and were married after we both were very established in our job and wealth. She had a good job with a great pension. She also had 2 inheritances that were in a trust. We agreed early on that we were both comfortable and we would not disclose to each other our entire worth, by her insistence. We also have a prenup where any property in or trust that predates the marriage and any income from those resources are not considered marital property. Again, on her insistence. Now I have provided both properties. I purchased the travel, food, and fuel. Basically, I support her 100%. Her income and wealth is spent by herself. She purchased her car, clothes, personal travel, and cosmetic surgery. She is a very beautiful woman on the outside but has shown she is very ugly inside. A few days after I got my diagnosis, I announced my retirement from the nonprofit. Now knowing what I know, I noticed Jane was a bit uncomfortable. I can guess why. I will be around more often. So tomorrow is my last day of work. Now I will be focusing on spending time with the family. I gave the camera server info to my lawyer and gave him access from his office. So I don't know if they had activities again, but I would assume yes. Again, I don't care at this point. I know who I am and what is my worth, and AP is a big step down. As flashy AP is, I am low-key. I drive a 15-year-old pickup truck. I like jeans and t-shirts and coveralls in the winter. I know for a fact that AP does not have anywhere near the wealth that Jane thinks he does. Cattle. Since the trust has invested in his business, I get quarterly financials. I don't tell anyone how much I have, that is between my accountants and me. But let's just say that the trust has been growing for 30 years. I live a modest life, and there is enough there for my great-great-grandchildren to enjoy the farm and have their education paid for. Once Jane knows what she lost, that will be her reckoning. I just won't see it. December really got busy. We did our normal social rounds these last weekends. AP was at one of the parties. It was hard to not keep an eye on Jane and him. I don't think I was caught. With being so busy and wrapping up everything at the job, I have had an easier time keeping it together. Jane has not expressed anything that would lead me to conclude that she knows I know. I am not proud of this, but I still sleep in the same bed. I have been selfish with her as of late. I feel like I am using her, but she has apparently been using me for at least the better part of this year. I am not as honorable as many of you have made me out to be. I hate this small amount of deceit, so don't worry about Jane getting everything because she will not. The trust is in great hands. I have detailed instructions on how it is to be managed. Not an idiot. I personally would leave everything to your kids, including the house, and I would make sure that she was left absolutely nothing. I would also not tell her anything about you and get your will and proof all done in separate finances from her and keep your money safe. I would personally leave her broke and homeless with proof of her infidelity, and I would never touch her again and would make excuses all the time, so I wouldn't have to. Let everyone find out at the reading of the will. Not an idiot. That's hard news as it is. To feel abandoned like that after is truly a bitter pill to swallow. In reality, it's very difficult to really know anyone or what they're capable of. Unless you're an extremely good actor, and I'm not on my best days, much less under the crushing weight of your situation, confrontation seems inevitable. If she still cares about you, she will know something is wrong, and she won't stop asking about it. If you're enjoying the video, drop a like and subscribe. My buddy Steve has worked at a small business for over 10 years. Most of his time there has been pretty alright, but recently it has become a remarkably worse place to work. Steve is the most senior employee outside of management and by far the most productive. He's always training new hires, working extra hours, helping other departments, you name it. Pretty often, Steve will come in for a couple hours on his day off to take care of backed up paperwork and general housekeeping of his department. This does wonders for keeping the department running smoothly, especially when they are busy. Management knows about this and approves. Going into the holidays this year, they are absolutely slammed, as usual. Orders are backing up and it's all hands on deck, extra hours, full tilt. After another 60-hour work week, Steve has a couple days off. On his second day off, he decides to go into work for a few hours. He knows his coworkers are likely too busy to be taking care of the side stuff, so he's being a team player and helping out. While he's finishing up and about to leave, Steve's manager comes up to him and they have the following conversation. "Hey Steve, quit messing around, get back out there and do your job." Steve replies, "Hey manager, sorry, it's my day off. I'm not scheduled to work this shift. I'm just helping out, leaving in like 5 minutes." Manager replies, "The hell you are? Get your ass out there." Steve says, "Nope, not happening. I'm going home." The next day, Steve is predictably brought into the office, dressed down, and written up for insubordination. But there's a few things about Steve that you should know, that his employers knew but either forgot or didn't care about. 1. Steve has been getting fed up with his employer for a while now. 2. Steve is quite financially stable, as he works in a high-demand industry, and his wife also has a fantastic well-paying job. 3. Steve is about to become a dad. In fact, he is very close to becoming a dad, right after the holidays most likely. So, Steve is in the manager's office, just finished getting talked down to, and handed his write-up to sign. Steve signs his write-up, and hands it back, along with an envelope with a short letter inside. "What's this?" Manager asks. "By 2 weeks' notice." Cue the backpedaling. Manager is apologetic, asks for Steve to at least finish the holiday rush. The big boss comes in and offers a raise if he stays, the whole shebang. Steve turns it all down. Now Steve's former employer has to get through the holidays without their most reliable worker, which will take at least 2 or 3 new hires to cover. Meanwhile, Steve can enjoy the holidays without stress, help prepare for the arrival of their baby, and start looking for work again when they're good and ready. Edit. Obligatory while this post blew up reaction. Some clarification. Steve's position is hourly, and he got overtime pay for the extra hours. The stuff he worked on during these extra hours would collectively save his department a lot of time and headaches. That's why he did it. There used to be a good team vibe in the company from top to bottom. Coworkers who were genuinely friends and good teammates. So going the extra mile made a good thing even better. Not so much towards the end. Also, giving him 2 weeks instead of quitting on the spot was a combination of professional courtesy, and also giving his coworkers enough warning to not be completely blindsided and bury them. Thanks for watching and have a great day.